Hello and welcome to National Park Wild. I'm Eric, and in this video, I am talking about a beautiful island off the coast of Tanzania. It has remarkable snorkeling, beautiful forests, fascinating history, and unique wildlife you can't really see on the mainland. When most people think of Tanzania islands, they certainly think of Zanzibar. However, there is another island just south of Zanzibar that I think has even more memorable scenery and excursions. So let's talk about my experiences in Mafia Island, and some tips for planning a trip to this wonderful place. Let's begin now. First off, getting there. I started in Arusha, traveling to Dar es Salaam in order to get a flight from Dar to Mafia with Precision Airways. You can get to Dar by bus or plane, with the bus being cheaper, but also being at least a 10-hour ride. Up to you. Once you are in Dar, I recommend taking a plane. I'm not super knowledgeable on boat transportation from Dar to Mafia, but I did take the ferry back, and we will get to that later. The flight itself was pleasant. It's only about 45 minutes and you get splendid views of the Indian Ocean and several small islands. Nothing to complain about there. Those small planes can be a little bumpy. I didn't notice any turbulence, but I have a pretty high tolerance, so do with that information what you will. Quick fun fact, Mafia Island's airport was actually built in 2013, almost exactly 12 years after I arrived. And that makes me wonder if people even went to Mafia Island in the 2000s. Maybe they used the ferry. Maybe that used to be more reliable. Onto the island itself. Let's quickly talk about lodging and dining. I stayed with Afro Whale Shark at a resort called Maisara Mafia Beach Lodge. The resort has the nice Afro beach bungalows, and also some tent shelters if you like beach camping. The 1 to 3 person room prices are easily single digits per night, and they include a decent breakfast. Better yet, the resort is right on the beach, and within walking distance of the Kilindoni market. This market has a variety of vendors from which you can buy some fantastic seafood, including tuna and octopus, as well as a plethora of other foods. My personal favorite is mandazi, which is a fried dough treat common in Tanzania. The food is affordable and delicious, but it's good to know that if you're going to the market as a tourist, vendors and walking sellers will likely stop you as you're walking. That's understandable. New clients are naturally good for business. But if this sort of interaction makes you uncomfortable, you can instead get food from your lodge, or you can ask the lodge about other nearby restaurants. There are some restaurants near and in this market, but I don't have too much advice. However, I will say this. The restaurants that are small and part of the market setup have much faster service and much better prices than the more developed restaurants. That's about all I have to say about that. In general, ask your hotel staff for guidance or just stay at your hotel outside of the excursions. And speaking of excursions, the first thing I did in Mafia was swim with whale sharks. This is the reason to go here. Whale sharks are the largest species of fish, and in fact, the largest animal outside of whales. And from October to February, they feed in marine park waters off the coast of Mafia Island. I went with Afro Whale Shark, but there are certainly plenty of other outfitters you can look into. The experience of swimming with whale sharks was like nothing I'd done before. I'm very used to reef snorkeling, in which the boat takes you to a set place, you swim around for a little while, looking at lots of fish and other marine life, then you repeat at maybe 1 or 2 more spots. This expedition was not like that. We hopped on a boat a little after 7 a.m. since whale sharks are active in the morning, and traveled several miles out into the ocean. For 2 hours, we boated around looking for whale sharks. It was indeed after 2 hours that we did find some, and from this point on, the excursion was a repeated cycle of jumping into the water quickly, swimming after a whale shark, getting back on the boat, and boating around to find the next one. The water's not shallow, but it wasn't deep enough that you couldn't see the bottom. In fact, I saw 1 or 2 large starfish in the sand, and that was lots of fun. But nothing was cooler than seeing a whale shark swim directly underneath me. These enormous and beautiful creatures are so graceful, and I'd never really been in the presence of such a large animal in that way. I didn't have my GoPro because the whole trip was last minute, but I'll never forget exactly what I saw. Seeing these gentle giants traversing the open water is burned into my memory in the best possible way. Now I'm sure you're wondering what the chances of seeing whale sharks are. Well, when I first looked at the website, the Afro Whale Shark one that is, I saw 80 to 90% chance listed on the website. However, it currently says around 80% of tourists see whale sharks. And when I was there, a group of people who went 3 days after me didn't see any. So do know that it's not a guarantee that you'll see the whale sharks, but if you're in the around 80% who get to see them, you'll be having one of the most memorable swims of your life. Next thing I did was rent a bicycle with a friend of mine attempting to go to the Hippo pond on the west side of the island. Don't do this. My bike's back tire went flat, and I did not make it to the pond. I therefore know little about the pond itself, but you can ask if your hotel can provide transport, but before doing that, ask for more details about the pond itself. I don't know how often hippos are even there. Let's move on to something that did go as planned. So through the staff of Afro Whale Shark, my friends and I arranged a full day tour involving snorkeling, lunch, and a walking tour. From our resort, we were driven by tuk-tuk to a beach at the southeast part of the island. The beach was within Mafia Island Marine Park, and you must know that you'll be asked to pay approximately $20 entrance fee once you get to the boundary of the marine park. Once at the beach, we boarded and headed out to snorkel. It was raining quite hard the entire boat ride out, but that was okay. Once we got to the snorkeling site, things quite turned around. The water was warm, and the reef was beautiful. Coral structures were so vibrant and tall, and they were teeming with fish. Certainly, there were many colorful reef fish I'd never seen before, and also plenty of standout sightings including lionfish, a spiny lobster, an eel, and a crocodile fish. There were also some very shallow seagrass areas where you had to be super close to the seafloor. That could be an issue if there was a dangerous animal like an eel right there, but all I saw was some cool sea cucumbers, and that was pretty fun. There were 2 total snorkeling sites in the excursion, both near rocky islands chock full of fascinating foliage and several seabirds. I love these places and love the snorkeling, but that was just the morning. Next up, we stopped on a sandbar. Here, we found other pleasant seabirds and quite an abundance of starfish with flexible legs. The main reason for the stop was actually for lunch. Our guide cooked fish for everybody with a charcoal fire set up right there on the sandbar, accompanied by a salad and delicious flatbread known as chapati. After lunch, we hit the proverbial road and went to the lagoon. Getting to the lagoon took an hour or so, but the boat ride there was beautiful. We glided over crystal clear water and coasted through mangroves housing beautiful egrets and herons. Once at the lagoon site, I first found an adorable little crab. Then, after a quick but challenging walk with a notable climb up some rocks, we reached the lagoon. And it was unbelievable. The water was pristine and it was actually swarming with a non-stinging species of jellyfish. Most of the jellies were on the lagoon floor, sitting upside down to bask in the sun it seemed. This day was cloudy, but that didn't stop them. I saw only 2 fish in the lagoon. Otherwise it was mainly just the jellyfish, and swimming with them was surprisingly fun and vaguely awe-inspiring. Do note, there are also some biting insects or similar at the bottom of the lagoon, and they might get you if you hold still. They're mostly just an inconvenience, but one of my friends did come out of the lagoon bleeding a little bit, seemingly because of the bugs. We couldn't think of any other cause. And despite that, this was a fun penultimate experience for the day. The final experience? A walking tour of Chole Island. Chole Island is a small one with about 1,000 people living on it, just off the coast of Mafia. We were led by our guide around the main village, historic German buildings, and a stop at a souvenir stall because why not? There was actually quite a bit of wildlife here. I saw some large snails, a few millipedes, a very large bird species I couldn't identify, and my personal favorite, bats. Specifically, the Seychelles fruit bat. It's quite a common species on Mafia Island and the surrounding area. Chole Island had a few trees inhabited by fruit bats, but one in the center of the village had hundreds. It was insane. One of my friends was afraid of bats and particularly disliked their loud squeaking, so if you don't like bats or the sound they make, Chole Island might not be for you. Also, if you don't like bats, then you will want to go to bed right after sunset on Mafia Island, because at that point, hundreds of bats are flying overhead. I loved seeing these large silhouettes against the dusk light, but I know these creatures are not to everyone's liking. So that's everything I did in Mafia Island, but I have to tell you about getting back to the mainland. A flight is a nice and easy way to return, but if you're interested in an adventure, you should take the ferry. Here's my ferry story. 2 days before we planned to leave, we tried to get ferry tickets upon learning that it leaves weekly at most, and was leaving at 2 a.m. the day we wanted to go. For whatever reason, the tickets can only be purchased at the pier, and it seems a staff member went to the pier on our behalf. It was all well and good, and we got to the pier at around 1 a.m. Then, to get on the boat, we had to cross the lengthy pier that seemed to be missing 1/6 of its wooden planks. Seems simple enough, but you're not actually allowed to walk. Instead, you have to get a tuk-tuk or a dala dala being these small buses in Tanzania, and you pay extra in order to even get to the boat. It was a fun drive because the tide was low and the view was quite pretty, but this whole system seemed odd. The ferry got us to the mainland in about 4 hours, but it loses points for having a TV on the entire time, even though it was an essentially overnight ferry. More points are lost for these several speakers being out of sync, meaning the TV audio was a cacophony of awful din. I do not recommend the ferry if you like reliable or comfortable travel, but I lived, and it was kind of fine. At this point, we arrived in a port town called Yamisati. From there, we got a 3-hour bus to Dar es Salaam, then took a 45-minute tuk-tuk to a different bus station, and finally got another 10-hour bus back to Arusha. From start to finish, we spent about 24 hours traveling. If you are willing to spend an extra $100 or $200 or so, just fly. However, I am glad I did something different. So that was my experience on Mafia Island. I saw great wildlife on the land, sea, and sky. I visited interesting historic sites and local markets. And I tried some new experiences both on the island and getting off the island. I also went to Zanzibar during this time in Tanzania, and I'll probably make a video on that soon. When it comes to natural scenery and excursions, I preferred my time in Mafia Island, and I would recommend it if you go to Tanzania for 2 weeks or more. I definitely think that the first thing you should do in Tanzania is a safari on the Northern Circuit, but Mafia Island is not too far behind in terms of a bucket list experience in this beautiful country. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for more videos about Tanzania, and subscribe so you know when they come out. I'll see you next time.